Hi, this is Pastor Ted Marshall. Welcome again to VRM Veterans Radio Ministry, and this is our daily bread. And what we're doing in our daily bread, as we talked to you before, we are going to use what is known as the daily bread, which is devotionals. As you can see, we got some here, and what we're doing with this is being able to find something that we find completely interesting and try to share that with you. And for the next several minutes, if you can give us your attention, we'd love to talk to you about it. First of all, we're going to go to the gospel. We're going to go in Mark 2:13 through 17. And as soon as we get those up, we will start with it. Once again, Jesus went out beside the lake, and a large crowd came to him and began to teach them. As he walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," Jesus told him. And Levi got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at the Levi house, many tax collectors and sinners were eating with him and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. When the teacher of the law, who were Pharisees, saw him eating with the sinners and tax collectors, they asked his disciples, "Why does he eat with these tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said to them, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but it's the sick. I have not come to call on the righteous, but sinners." Recently, what we're looking at is something that's, I showed it to Drew earlier, and once real quickly, I want to thank Drew for helping produce and all the technical stuff he does for VRM. It's awesome. But I wanted to show Drew this, and it's really kind of cool. And the title of this devotional is from June 29th of 2023, and it's called The Gospel in Unexpected Places. And this was by Adam R. Holtz. Adam says, "Recently I found myself someplace I've seen in movies and on TV more times than I could count. Hollywood, California. The foothills of Los Angeles. The enormous white letters march proudly across the famous hillside. Then from my hotel window. Then I noticed something else. Down on the left was a prominent cross. I've never seen that in a movie. And at that moment, I left my hotel room. Some students from a local church began to share Jesus with me." We might sometimes think of the Hollywood as only the epicenter of the worldliness, in utter contrast with God's kingdom. Yet clearly Christ was at work there, catching me by surprise with his presence. The Pharisees were constantly surprised by where Jesus turned up. He didn't hang out with the people they expected him. Instead, he tells us in Mark 2:13 through 17, tells us he spent his time with tax collectors and sinners and people whose lives particularly screamed unclean. Yet there was Jesus among those who needed him most. More than 2,000 years later, Jesus continues to plant his message of hope and salvation in unexpected places, amongst the most unexpected of people. He's called and equipped as to be part of that mission. When have you noticed God at work in a place that surprised you? What adjustments might you make to be open to the Spirit leading you to unexpected places? Heavenly Father, thank you for showing us even in places where I'm tempted to believe you're absent. Thank you for calling me to be part of your mission. Our mission, of course, with VRM is to spread the word of Jesus Christ around the world. And as funny as Drew was remarking as we were looking at these pictures, as you go on, if you Google that, the cross next to the Hollywood sign, very quickly you'll see the Hollywood signs from all kinds of different angles, but you don't see the cross. And Drew brought up a good point, which I was thinking of also when I went over this a few days ago, that How many movies have we seen and how many TV shows have we seen where they show that Hollywood sign, but even from that point of view where the cross showed up, how many times was that cross edited out? How many times did they take pictures making sure that the angles were such that that cross would not show up? Don't let that cross in your life not show up. Don't take angles to obscure it. Stand proud and prominent with it. And wherever you take that cross, being inside you will show. Just like that cross illuminates and lights up at night. This is Pastor Ted Marshall with VRM, Veterans Radio Ministry. We're broadcasting around the world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can catch us on YouTube, our YouTube channel. You can catch us on Rumble. We're also on Roku TV, Apple TV, also on Facebook and X. It used to be called Twitter, now X. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to get a hold of us, just go to veteransradioministry.com. All our contact information is there. And thank you again for listening to VRM, Veterans Radio Ministry.